38. A Hope, Lavanya's POV. Lavanya, peel this garlic, beta, Mama instructed while I was washing the vegetables in the sink. Yes, Mama, I responded obediently. It's already 9 and we haven't even started cooking yet. I can't believe we're still preparing, she muttered anxiously. Here we go. Don't worry, Mama. We have plenty of time. Lunch won't be served until 12, okay? I reassured her. She nodded rapidly, and I shook my head with a small smile. Mothers! I helped her whenever she needed me, and we spent hours in the kitchen. Just as we were finishing up, the doorbell rang. Mama and I exchanged wide-eyed looks. He's here. This is the last dish. You go and change and I'll finish up. Your father will receive him, she said quickly. I hesitated for a second, waiting for her to finish. But then she nagged, Stop staring at me and go, hurry up. Her loud whisper made me nod rapidly, and I rushed to my room to change. While I was in my room picking out an outfit, I heard voices from the living room. Good morning, Mr. Verma. A faint American accent filtered through the door as I rummaged through my wardrobe. Mr. Dawson. I grabbed a dress and hurriedly changed. Morning, Mr. Dawson. Daddy greeted him cheerfully. Please call me Jackie, sir, Mr. Dawson requested. I chuckled to myself while draping my dupatta over my shoulder. A dog's name? Oh sure, Jackie it is then. Daddy's amused voice reached me just as I started combing my hair. This is for the ladies, I heard Mr. Dawson say. Did he bring flowers? Only for the ladies? Not for me? Daddy asked in a mock-hurt tone, and for a brief moment there was the pin-drop silence. I also love flowers. I even have a small garden on my balcony, Daddy added, making me chuckle again. Yes, I was right. He did bring flowers. I'm sorry, I didn't. Mr. Dawson started stammering, sounding genuinely guilty. Daddy laughed, and I shook my head knowingly. I could tell exactly what he was doing, teasing him. I applied my kajal carefully, smiling to myself. Daddy, you are such a mischievous man. Sorry, I was just kidding, Daddy finally admitted. I heard Mr. Dawson chuckle in response. Poor Mr. Dawson. The voices grew louder as they moved further into the living room. I was now powdering my face. Please have a seat, Daddy offered. Thank you, sir, Mr. Dawson replied politely. No, call me uncle, Daddy insisted. I smirked at my reflection in the mirror. Yeah, uncle. Mr. Dawson chuckled and my smile brightened. So, how's business going? Daddy asked, steering the conversation towards work. By then, I had finished getting ready. But instead of stepping out, I lingered behind my bedroom door, listening in. Or maybe just to hear his voice, my inner voice teased. Shut up! I rolled my eyes. Everything is going well. I have some incredibly hard-working employees here, he replied casually. So, you have more than one branch? Daddy asked. Yes, the main branch is in my hometown, San Francisco, and the other is in London, he answered. Great! I think you are the youngest successful businessman I have ever met, Daddy said appreciatively. You must have worked really hard. When I was your age, I was just madly in love with my lovely wife. Daddy chuckled, and Mr. Dawson joined in. What about your family? Daddy asked suddenly, and my smile disappeared. Oh no. I hurriedly opened the door and rushed into the living room, not wanting my father to ask him anything too personal. As soon as I entered, both of them turned their heads to look at me. Hello, I greeted in the softest, most feminine tone I could manage. In response, Mr. Dawson immediately stood up, which left me confused. Why is he being such a gentleman today? Hello, Auntie, he said, looking somewhere else. Auntie, I frowned, and his eyes shifted back to me. Just then, I felt a gentle pat on my back. He's greeting me, beta, Mama said with a smile. Oh, God bless you, son, my mother said warmly, and I instantly felt embarrassed. Stupid, why would he call you auntie? My mind scolded. I turned back to look at him. He was smiling at my mother. Thank you so much for taking care of my daughter, Mama said gratefully. Please don't thank me. Anyone would have done the same for her, he replied humbly. Please, make yourself comfortable. Mama gestured toward the couch before sitting down in a nearby chair. I perched myself on the armrest of the single couch where Daddy was seated. I wish we had known you earlier. It's unfortunate that you're leaving tonight. You must miss your family, Mama said, pausing before asking, by the way, how many members do you have in your family? My eyes widened. Mama, I think... I tried to steer the conversation elsewhere. It's okay, Lavanya, Mr. Dawson interrupted, looking at me reassuringly. Auntie, I live alone. My mom remarried before moving to San Diego, and my dad passed away a few years ago. He explained briefly, trying to sound casual. Oh God, I should have told my parents about his family situation before inviting him. I should have warned them not to ask such questions. This is entirely my fault. Daddy straightened up, and Mama's expression turned serious. Oh, we're really sorry, beta, Mama said, her voice full of concern. No, please don't be. I'm totally fine, he assured them, shaking his head. Then, after a brief pause, he suddenly asked, why are you calling me beta? I'm a little confused. It means son in Hindi, my mother explained with a chuckle. And Betty means daughter, Daddy added, glancing at me affectionately before pulling me into a side hug. Oh, I thought. Never mind. Mr. Dawson hesitated. No, tell us, Daddy insisted. Actually, I thought it meant the English beta, he admitted. There was a brief silence before we all burst into laughter. My bad, he added sheepishly. Oh yes, now I see why you looked so confused. That's actually funny. Daddy grinned. You all make a really lovely family, Mr. Dawson said, looking at us warmly, and we smiled in response. You're not eating much, son, Mama said, adding more fried rice to his plate. No, He finished chewing before continuing. Really can't eat this much. You have to, Mama said firmly, giving him a knowing look. Daddy and I giggled at his helpless expression. He turned to me with a pleading please help me look, and I couldn't help but smile. Mama, Americans don't have strong digestive systems for heavy Indian dishes. Dawson sir can't eat that much, I said informatively, glancing at him with a teasing look. In response, he narrowed his eyes at me. I flashed him a grin, and he simply stared at me. The food is really delicious, Auntie, but I'm already full, he said humbly, and I struggled to suppress a laugh. Okay, but save some room for dessert, my mother said, and I saw horror flash across his face. Dessert? He asked, eyes widening. Yes, dessert. An Indian meal is incomplete without it, Daddy said as Mama placed a bowl of rabdi in front of him. Taste it. I'm sure you'll love it, she encouraged. He hesitantly took a spoonful, and the moment he tasted it, he seemed to enjoy it. Despite being full, he ended up finishing the entire bowl. Auntie, now I know where Lavanya got her cooking skills from, he said, making me blush. You should open your own restaurant. These recipes are absolute gems, he complimented. Almost all Indian women know how to cook. They do it every day. It's a basic skill, my mother replied. Wow, he sighed. We only cooked on special occasions, but my mom loved cooking. She used to make amazing dishes, he said with a nostalgic smile. Though, my father never had time to taste them, he added, his voice laced with sadness. The warmth in the room faded instantly, and an awkward silence settled over us. Clearing his throat, Daddy finally asked, "How do you manage to live alone?" He chuckled. "I hardly go home. I keep myself busy with work." "You should get married, beta," my mother said in her usual motherly tone. He immediately looked up at her. Then, almost instinctively, his eyes drifted toward me. I quickly lowered my gaze to my bowl, avoiding his eyes. Clearing his throat, Daddy finally asked, "How do you manage to live alone?" He chuckled. "I hardly go home. I keep myself busy with work." "You should get married, beta," my mother said in her usual motherly tone. He immediately looked up at her. Then, almost instinctively, his eyes drifted toward me. I quickly lowered my gaze to my bowl, avoiding his eyes.
Jackie's POV. I was staring at my empty bowl when her mother suggested, "You should get married, Beta." I jerked my head up in surprise, then instinctively glanced at Lavanya. The moment our eyes met, she quickly looked down. "You're right, Auntie. I think this is the right time," I smirked, glancing at her before turning back to her mother. "You never know. One day I might be asking your daughter to marry me. Let's see." Throughout our light conversation, I kept stealing glances at Lavanya. Every time I caught her looking at me, she would quickly turn away, hiding her face. I didn't even realize how quickly time had passed. By 3 o'clock, I decided it was time to leave. "I should get going now. Thank you for this wonderful day, Mr. Verma. I mean, Uncle. And thank you so much for your hospitality, Auntie. The food was truly amazing. I will never forget its taste," I said sincerely. "We're really happy that we could serve you today. You're our guest. And you also helped Lavanya when she needed it. She told us how you used to drop her home every day when her bike broke," Mrs. Verma said, making me glance at Lavanya with a small smile. "Okay. Goodbye, Auntie, Uncle. You two are truly wonderful. That's why you have such a happy family," I said, but my voice cracked before I could finish. It reminded me of my own family, when I was a child. Emotions are bitches. "I will walk you out, sir," Lavanya offered, glancing at her parents. They nodded, giving her permission. After bidding farewell, I made my way downstairs, with her following just a step behind. As soon as I reached the ground floor, she suddenly crashed into my back. Her hands gripped my left shoulder and right forearm tightly. The impact made me jerk forward, nearly losing my balance, but somehow I managed to stay on my feet. What the hell was that? I turned my head over my shoulder, giving her a look that clearly asked, "What just happened?" Her face was mere inches from my right shoulder. In response, she bared her teeth in an awkward expression, not quite a smile. "Sorry, I slipped." Unbelievable. I rolled my eyes and turned back. "Is that your favorite stunt, Miss Lavanya?" I asked dryly. I heard her gasp. "Sorry." She apologized again, slowly letting go of me. Turning to face her, I noticed she was still on the second to last step of the staircase, making me tilt my head slightly upward to meet her eyes. "I swear I need to get rid of all the staircases in my houses. Your future husband should avoid having stairs in his home," I remarked with a thoughtful pout. "Huh?" She blinked in confusion. "Nothing." I quickly looked away, stuffing both hands into my pockets to avoid answering. A brief silence passed before she spoke hesitantly. "So, this is it then. I hope you have a happy No!" I cut her off, turning to face her. "This is not it, love." I shook my head. "This can't be it." She furrowed her brows, her lips slightly parted in surprise. "I want more. I want that dream to come true." She seemed unsure. "I want you to come with me," I blurted out. Her mouth and eyes slowly widened. "Are you stupid?" Finish your sentence, idiot. She's thinking something completely different. My inner voice yelled. Oh no, I meant out, I quickly corrected, but she just blinked at me with the same stunned expression. I want you to come out with me for a hymn. I cleared my throat. You know, an evening, just to make some fun memories. Like going to a park or something, or maybe to a mall and then having dinner at a good restaurant? Your choice, of course. I kept rambling while she just stared at me, her expression gradually shifting from shock to surprise. So will you? I asked, my heart pounding. Please say yes, love. When she didn't respond for a minute or two, I exhaled, glancing downward. Gathering all my courage, I looked straight into her eyes and asked again, this time more directly. Will you go out with me, Miss Lavanya?
Lavanya's POV, his straightforward question, made my head spin like a hula hoop. What should I say now? What do you mean? Just say no, my inner voice urged. I tried to obey my mind, but my mouth refused to cooperate. His eyes were fixed on my lips as if he could see them move without a sound. My lips were forming words, but my voice wasn't coming out, and he was waiting, desperately waiting for an answer. Say no, just say it. I'm trying. I tried again and failed again. Hey, no pressure. It's okay if you don't want to. Yes, my own voice finally reached my ears, interrupting him mid-sentence. He stopped speaking, his brows shooting up in surprise. Are you insane? What did you just do? My inner voice scolded. I don't know why I did that. What? He asked in shock, as if he hadn't expected my answer at all. I'm sorry, I didn't. Did you just say? Yes, I cut him off, fusing my response with his unfinished sentence. Yes, I will. Go out? With you. I clarified, my words breaking into hesitant fragments. A wide grin spread across his face. Thank you so much. I promise you're going to love this evening, he said enthusiastically, nodding rapidly as if trying to reassure me that I had made the right decision. Be ready by 5. I'll be waiting right there with my car, he added, gesturing towards the road near the parking area. Why am I doing this? Because you've completely lost your mind, my conscience scolded. But then I looked at him, at his smile brimming with happiness, and suddenly I knew why I was doing this. No, can't you see that smile? Every time he asks me for something, I say no. I frustrate him. He even complained about it once, and I've lectured him endlessly about behaving like a gentleman. Now he is. There's no denying that he's making an effort to change, to transform from an American monster into an American gentleman. How can I say no to a gentleman? What? His voice snapped me out of my thoughts. Why are you looking at me like that? His voice was low and husky. No. I quickly looked away, avoiding his gaze. I was just thinking about me, he added, and I turned back to him, my mouth falling open in shock. He chuckled at my reaction and winked. Relax, just kidding. I snapped my mouth shut. Okay, see you in. He glanced at his wristwatch. 2 hours, he smirked, stepping back. I pressed my lips together, trying to suppress my nervousness. Can't wait, he sighed, closing his eyes for a brief moment before turning around and walking toward his duplex. I stood there watching him until he disappeared through his door.